Um, Ghostgirl came from my own experience. I wrote the book I would have wanted in high school, I think, and also it came from the experience I had working in Hollywood for a TV show that I was doing, and the whole idea of popularity and trying to fit in, and the idea of being invisible, which I think starts in high school and continues throughout life. I don't have an audience in mind when I start writing, whether it's TV, film, or books. I write the story. I think of the story first, and wherever that fits in, then that's what I go with. But I don't set out and say, I'm going to write for teenagers, or I'm going to write this. I think the most important thing is story, and wherever the story fits, it could be a different format. I think that when you're a teenager, a lot of things are kind of life and death issues. Because you're confined in this space, and you're seeing the same people every day, and you're trying to find where you fit, and you're trying to find yourself at the same time. Things are much more dramatic, and you wear your heart on your sleeve, and I love writing for teens because they're just so much more open-minded, and they're so much more honest, and they'll tell you what they think. I wanted to make a character that was a choker, that really didn't go after what she wanted in life. And so I had to kill her off at the beginning of the book, but it was because I wanted to explore the idea of invisibility at an extreme level, and I figured if she was dead, you can't get more invisible than that. And she still, her wants and her desires transcends even death itself. So I found that an interesting idea. I don't think it had to do much with the audience or how I set out, what I set out in the first book. I obviously wanted her to evolve, but when I created the characters in the beginning, I was just getting to know them, and I was, and they eventually took on lives of their own, so to speak, and so I wanted to give them, I didn't want to map out the entire story and have exactly where I needed to go. I had a general idea of where the second book would go, but I wanted to give them breathing room so they could grow on their own, and a lot of them surprised me, especially the Petula character. She became more human and more relatable, and so yeah, they really, some of them surprised me. I am a twin, so I guess that's where the Charlotte-Scarlett dynamic came from. High school was a difficult time. I think it's a difficult time for everyone. I enjoyed it, but I was pretty popular, but I got really fed up with the way that you had to, all the pressure involved, and it was so tense, and who was sitting next to who at this table, and were you in this clique, or were you in this one, and where did you fit, and and you really, people in high school really want to know who you aren't. They don't necessarily want to know who you are, because it's hard for them to compartmentalize, and if you're different and they can't put you in a specific group, then you're totally out. So whereas out of high school, you're celebrated for being different. So it was a difficult time, and one day I just decided to dye my hair purple, and and I was in a punk band, and nobody knew what to do with that. So, but after a while, I think that made me even more popular. So my plan backfired. But yeah, high school, I experimented a lot in high school, I guess. No, those are bands that I know, and a lot of them I know personally, and that I grew up listening to, and that I love. I think that when you're writing for teens, if you're not, or anyone, if you're not authentic, they can tell. And so I use bands that really touch me in their lyrics. I think a lot of these stories are based in mainstream feelings of love and longing. I know mine are, and invisibility, but they're also fantasy. And so I think that's probably, the teenagers probably connect with the themes, the general universal themes, but that's really where they connect. But the whole fantasy element just adds to it, and it also puts you in a position of anything can happen, and sky's the limit. So I think that's appealing. My favorite film, wow, Harold and Maude. I don't know if a lot of them would know that, but I love the movie Harold and Maude. A special scene in that movie, I just like when Harold's always trying to commit suicide, so he, not really actually committing suicide, he just wants his mother to think he'll be hanging from a closet or hanging, and I like those, but I like the love, scenes with Maude, Harold and Maude. Those are probably the most touching, because they're such different ages. She's an old lady, and he's a young guy, and you never really saw that on film before. And it's quite unnerving at the beginning, but then it just shows you how it doesn't matter what your body is. It's the love you have with another soul. Wow, that's a good question. Probably Disintegration by The Cure. I'm listening to a lot of new music now. I love the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, but probably the classic would be Disintegration. No. No, and you will thank me for that. You're welcome. I won't be singing. What is left? I guess I can. I don't know. For me, the most important thing is story, and whatever format that fits in, I will learn that format. I know that they don't allow really authors to write their own scripts and their own TV shows because it's so different. But I started out kind of with my hand in everything and learning different formats. I'm not sure what is left. I've done the web, video games. Am I missing something? TV, film, maybe mime, performance art. Who knows? What started out as a feature film script for Robert De Niro's company, so I did have it written as a feature film first, and I just found that it's very hard to get a film made, and I found that writing the book, I could pretty much do whatever I wanted in the book on my own without having a group of people around, and I found that very liberating. You don't have to think about budget, you don't have to think about anything, and you could just concentrate on the story and do whatever you want. And so that's why I really fell in love with writing books. Will it be a TV show or a film? Possibly, I hope so. There's directors looking at it now, so we'll see what happens. I think a lot of the direction came from my website, and Little Brown in the U.S. and here in Spain really went all out with the details. I couldn't ask for better publishers. So this usually when you have something in your mind as a creative person and your wildest dreams, you think, oh, if I could have this and this, and it never really turns out the way you want it. It might be okay, but it doesn't turn out the way that you think it would. And these exceeded my expectations and my wildest dreams. So I'm very happy with the way they turned out. At Ghostgirl.com, I have a lot of interaction with the readers. And that's the most important part for me. And when I get mail, either on my Facebook or on ghostgirl.com, anywhere, I answer it myself. I feel like if a fan's going to take the time to write me, I should have the time to write them back. And staying connected to the fans is really the most important part for me. I love to hear from them. I love to hear what they think of the books, and I love to read their poetry and look at their artwork, and there's so many talented people out there that come to the site, and it's a pleasure for me. Yes, the third volume is finished. It's called Ghostgirl Love Sick, and it will be out sometime next year. I have enjoyed my time in Spain immensely. The Spanish fans are the best in the world, and I cannot wait to come back. Thank you so much for your support and for coming out to the signings and for getting the book and talking about it. I cannot wait. I love you all. Thank you.